there, fellow trekkers. I'm Linda, your park ranger, here to introduce today's adventure. You might hear me in the background as we navigate the trail together. Today, we're setting off from the Trailhead for Magic School, your first step on this exciting hike. If you're new to Magic School and ready to explore how AI can simplify your teaching life, you're in the right place. Magic School is an AI-powered platform built specifically for educators, helping you save time and spark creativity with ready-to-use tools for lesson planning, differentiation, communication, and more. As you explore, you can keep following the Magic School Trail or blaze a new one. We've mapped out beginner, intermediate, and advanced trails for every level of EdTech hiker, covering a range of powerful classroom technology tools. Can't spot the next landmark on your journey? Check back soon. We're always adding new trails to explore. Even better, subscribe so you never miss a new path to discovery. Lace up your boots. It's time to hit the trail.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Linda. I'm so excited. This is my first tech trek as well. I love Magic School. I've been using it for quite some time now, and I hope you guys learned some things along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get started on this trek. So make sure you guys lace up your boots because we're about to hit the trail with Magic School. So here we are. We're getting started with Magic School. Here we're on the Trailhead, and I'm so excited to help build out some of these so that you can further enhance your knowledge of Magic School. And so again, my name is Emily Flock. I am a regional EdTech coordinator, and I take care of the Southern region, and I'm seeing some representation from Southern Illinois today. That's awesome. I'm from the Effingham-ish area. That's like central Southern Illinois. Depending on where you live in the state, you decide if it's south or not. But I am so excited to guide you along Magic School and have you guys make some things today. Hopefully you're going to take some things that you can do today and tomorrow in your classrooms. So here's our agenda. We are going to sign in. We're going to create some accounts. We're going to navigate. I'll give you a little tour of the place. We're going to go exploring where you're going to get hands-on and create a lesson, a presentation, and a quiz. And we'll have a little chat with Raina. And then I'll show you where you can continue to learn. If you want to explore more before our tech treks are released, there's some awesome PD resources provided by Magic School. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create an account. We can't start the trail unless we have one of those. So if you would like to go to magicschool.ai, so in your web browser, you can just open a new tab and you can go to magicschool.ai. And that will bring you to the main homepage. In here, you're going to have options of either logging in or signing up for free. It depends. If you've been in here before, you're going to log in. If you haven't, you're going to sign up for free. One thing I will let you know, and I have this on my slides, I highly, highly suggest that you sign in via SSO or single sign-on. So when you go to sign up or even log in, it will have a spot for you to type your email and create your password. I recommend that you do not do that. And if you are a Google or Microsoft district, that you go ahead and sign in with your Google account credentials. This will make sure it's protected by two-factor authentication. So once you get in there, I've already got an account. I'm going to click log in. It's going to ask if I'm a student or an educator, and then I get this kind of sign-in window. I'm going to click sign in with Google. And then I am now in the portal. I am in the dashboard of Magic School. Now, if you are new, it's probably asking you to complete your profile, and you're going to want to skip this, but you can't skip it, I don't think. I think you have to fill out all the things, what you teach, your grade level, what you want the students to call you in Magic School, or how it will display to them. This is important because they're going to use AI to help tailor some of those tools that they think you would prefer or like to use. Because if you say, hey, I teach English, they're going to suggest more of the English teacher type tools. So it will require you to complete that profile. So let's map out Magic School, because before we take any trail, we want to kind of take a look at the map. So we're going to look at the tools. You're going to see your teacher dashboard, chat history. We're going to look at where Raina lives and where you can navigate to Raina. I'll talk just briefly about Magic Student because if you're on this Trek trail, you may not be ready quite to start setting up students' rooms. We'll be doing that in another Trek related to Magic School. And then, of course, to best navigate, you can search or filter by, and I'll show you some techniques for finding your favorite tools and how to customize things and so forth. So that way you can be on your way. So I'm going to go ahead and tab back over to Magic School. So I can show you here that we have the left-hand navigation. So I can click my three little hamburger or my three lines that form that hamburger. I can just close that up if I want a bigger workspace, especially if I'm on a Chromebook. They have a little bit smaller screen typically, but I'm going to keep it open for now. So I have all my Magic tools, and so that gives me all my teacher tools. I already scrolled through this, but here we've got 60 plus tools that I can plug and play. Then you have something called collections. This is relatively new to Magic School. So if you've been in here before, you can now actually set up collections based on workflow or maybe topic or subject area, especially if you're elementary, you teach all the things, right? So you might want to categorize tools by like maybe your subject area. So English, these are the types of tools I use to plan for English. Or maybe these are the types of tools I try to use when I'm planning for a math lesson. I do have a couple. I have two collections. One's called my special ed tools because I've done several special ed webinars where, these are the tools I think my special ed teachers would love. And so here I have IEP generator, BIP generator, 504 plan stuff, all kinds of great things. And then I also have today, I have the tech trek. So getting started. So I have some of the things that I'm going to be using. So again, collections is where you're making groups of tools. I am going to show you the output history as well, because this is important when you're thinking like, okay, I know I did a chat. I need to go back to it. I want to find it. You can search here. I will tell you that if you're on the free plan, because right now I'm on Magic School Plus, I think I have it for like 2 more weeks. And then I'm going to be bumped back to the free plan, and that's okay. I can live with it. But on the free plan, you only get to see like your output history for like the past 3. So if you want more of that output history, you will have to pay. But you can search, you can filter by your favorites, you can filter by a tool that you were using. You're like, oh, I know I was using that class newsletter or the choice board. I know it was one of those. And then your start and end dates. The resource library is relatively new too. This is like if you're going along in a chat, you can save certain pieces and parts. I'll show you an example of that later. We also have Raina chatbot. If you're not familiar with Raina, she is ChatGPT's chatbot. Like she is Magic School's version of ChatGPT, and you can ask her questions. So if the tools aren't quite what you're looking for, or you just need a brainstorming partner, Raina is your person. She is going to be someone that can provide you some ideas, best practices, and she does have an educator's hat on. So if you hover over this little information button, this is built for educators. And so she's trained on best practices. She's FERPA compliant, and she only talks about school related topics. So that's different. If you were like on ChatGPT or like Claude, they don't have that educator's hat on. And Raina's got this beautiful little unicorn hat, which is just awesome for education. Then there's Magic Student on the left-hand side too. This is when you're ready to introduce AI tools to students in a controlled environment. You get to decide which tools they have access to, and you can even customize them. You can drop just 2 tools into a room and then send that room code and link to your students. This would be discussed in another tech track, but I wanted to let you know if you're ready for it. There is a whole student piece to Magic School, and us being an Illinois school, it is a SOPA compliant resource, which is awesome. And then Magic School Labs is if you want to be on the cutting edge, up to date, staying up to date in Magic School, you can sign up there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our Magic tools so that way I can kind of show you the middle navigation. Here you have your search bar. I will say their search bar has improved tremendously. It used to not be super great, but now I can search any of the tools. This may not be super useful to you until you have actually gotten in there and you kind of know what tools are available. But at any time you're like, oh, I'm looking for some kind of planner. You can try to search plan and see what pops up. It does give you recommendations, and that's basically based off of what you submitted for your profile. And then here's the beautiful part, the filter by. Of course, if you don't want to filter, you don't have to, and you get all the tools. But if you're looking specifically to do something with, say, student support, you can filter by student support. Or maybe you're like, I am lesson planning right now. I need planners. It will then filter the tools that are associated with planning. I'm going to keep it on all categories for now. You're also going to see a way to filter by your favorites. So all these little purple stars that I have that are filled in, those are my favorites. So anytime you come across a tool today and you're like, ooh, I like that, or I'm interested, go ahead and favorite it. A lot of people like the worksheet generator, so you can click that and then it will be added to your favorites. So I'm going to toggle to my favorites so you guys can see everything. You can see the worksheet generator is now in there, and I've got quite a few that I love. The custom tools would be in a different session, a different track. This is where you can actually take a tool that's already available in MagicSchool and add your own instructions so that the tool will be very specific for your use. There's a lot of potential here. And then, of course, here's my collections that I told you about earlier, where I made the special ed tools collection and then also my tech trek collection for today. To create a collection, you just click the create collection button and then you name it and then you drop some tools in there that you want to add to your collection. So that's the middle portion here. And so that's pretty much the demo for now in terms of navigating around in here. So I did want to do a quick demo for you. I just want to show you how the tool works, because once you find a tool, what do you do with it? MagicSchool, I love it. It's like it's AI with training wheels. You don't have to be a master prompter. You don't have to be a ChatGPT pro to get some good output from MagicSchool, because again, it's designed for educators. We don't have time to be learning all the things. We need it to be very fast for us. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my favorite tools, and that's the choice board tool. And so I'm going to go ahead and click it. And when you click a tool, it's going to kind of almost give you, it feels like Google Forms or something. You're just going to fill out the form based on what you're trying to create. The other thing that I love in MagicSchool is if you're not sure how the tool works or you're not sure what to put in here, you can actually view an example input by clicking the exemplar, and then it will fill in the blanks for you to kind of give you an idea of what you should fill in. So I don't really need that for today, so I'm going to go back, but you can check out to see how a tool works by clicking exemplar and then actually even running it. You can generate straight from there to see how it works. So for my example, I'm going to go ahead and plug in that I'm going to be teaching 10th grade. And then you drop your learning goal in here. And so my goal for this choice board is that I want students to gather and evaluate information from multiple primary and secondary sources that reflect the perspectives and experiences of multiple groups during the Jim Crow era. I was a social studies teacher. That's why I have this first history example. And I did tons of choice boards. Like, I don't care how you tell me you found the information. I just want to make sure that you know it and that we can meet this standard. And so I went ahead and dropped this in here, and then I can add additional details. Maybe I want to say you must have at least 2 primary sources and 2 secondary sources to be more specific, because the more specific, the better the output's going to be for your particular use. I could even add a file, and I will show that later if I wanted to better direct it. Today, in this example, I'm not going to. And I can pull in web searches if I want to as well, but I'm not going to do that either. I'm just going to generate what I have right here so you guys can see how this works. So now I have my choice board where I could copy and paste this and give this to students. They don't have to just do slides. They could do a newspaper article, or they could do a creative presentation, or they could do an interview project. And so I have some different options here. And it actually didn't do a super great job of incorporating that it must include the primary and secondary sources. So I'm going to put rewrite the descriptions to include that at least 2 primary sources must be included and 2 secondary sources. I don't know why it didn't, but it didn't. And now you're going to see it's rewriting it. Okay, so now it did actually start to include some of this, using at least 2 primary sources to support your findings. And so you can go back and forth with it. If you ever get an output that you don't love, tell the chatbot that. Tell it that you don't like it. Some other things I wanted to show you in this navigation here is it has some follow-up questions, and I think this is pretty cool that it gives you those suggestions. So I always like to take a look at those. Like, can you specify which primary and secondary sources should be included? Sure, let's go ahead and do that. And it's actually going to give suggested sources. So that's kind of cool. It just helped me kind of rewrite this to be maybe a little bit better for my students, more supportive. And so what I want to show you next is, okay, now that I've generated this, how do I get it out of MagicSchool? There's a couple different ways. I can do the good old copy button where I just click copy, And then I can go in a new tab to docs.new because I'm a Google district. And then I can just paste it in here. And now I have my choice board that I can push out via Google Classroom or whatever my learning management system is. Another option, especially if you're on the paid plan, is you can click the export button. This is the box with the little arrow pointing up. I can actually export this to Google Docs. This is a paid plan. You have to have the pro version in order to get this export straight to Google. So, you just saw me do it two ways. I opened it by copy paste, or it does actually export if you have the paid version, but you can get around that export by clicking copy paste. I can also edit the prompt, or I can edit the output, I should say, by clicking that edit button. I can also have it read aloud to me. So this is especially useful if you're having students in student rooms and they need it read aloud to them, or that's how they prefer. And then here's that save resource. Let's say, I have 3 different generations now. Maybe I really liked the second one and I want to save this particular one. I can click this little bookmark and I click save resource. I can title it Jim Crow Era Choice Board. I'm going to save that. And now on my left-hand side in my resource library, I will find the Jim Crow Era Choice Board. And now I can click that and it brings me just to that piece of that particular interaction with that tool. So that can be really useful. So that's how it works in terms of you pick a tool, you plug in your specific context, your kiddo's grade level, your standards, and then you click generate. Now, granted, it doesn't always have to be like creating things. It can also be communication. So maybe you have an email that you're not sure how to respond to. Maybe the parent's a little combative, like, why are you teaching this curriculum to my kids? And you're like, I don't know how to respond to this. You can actually do something called an email responder where you paste their email, take out the personally identifiable information, and then give a very generic how you want to respond. And then it will turn it into a nice, flowery, professional email that you can kind of change the tone with. You can say, make it firmer or make it more professional or make it softer. And so you can, or be more sensitive, those types of things. So it's not just content creation. It is also assessing and communication, all kinds of great things. I would like to show you some other tools that we're going to explore today because I want you guys in here creating because it's not helpful if I'm just doing it all for you. So what I would like for you guys to do right now is I want you guys to think about a topic or a standard that you will be teaching in the next week or two. And if you're like one of those super planners, maybe think out a month ahead, okay? Because we're going to create 3 different things for that same topic or standard. So I'm going to do Newton's third law of motion. I'm not a science person, but I do know Newton's third law of motion. So that's the one I'm going to do. So my standard is an NGSS middle school standard, applied Newton's third law to design a solution to a problem involving the motion of 2 colliding objects. And what we're going to do is we're going to go check out the teacher tool of a lesson plan. Now you can search for it here. You can also filter it by instructional materials, or I can actually just search for it. So I'm going to search for lesson plan. So go ahead and we're going to search for lesson plan. And then what we're going to do is we're going to generate that lesson based on the standard or topic or objective that you just told me. So I'm doing 6th grade, and I'm going to go ahead and do my Newton's third law of motion. And so all I have to do here is drop this in here. Granted, the more specific that you are, the better. But I want to say make sure to include vocabulary in this lesson because I'm going to do some vocabulary first before we talk about Newton's third law. So I'm filling this out. And then standards to align to, it actually put in their NGSS. I think I had that from previous. So NGSS is that particular standard. I'm going to go ahead and click generate. And what we're going to see here is that I have a lesson. And so I have my learning objective about Newton's third law. It even gives me some assessment. It gives me some key points. It's going to give me my opening, my introduction, it even has some independent practices, how they're going to design a simple device that demonstrates Newton's third law, provide a worksheet with guidelines for design process and so forth. And so it's giving me all kinds of great things and how I align to this. And you can keep building off this lesson plan. So I can actually say that I want it to create the worksheet that it suggested because we're going to do some independent practice, create the worksheet with guidelines for the design process. Now, one thing I will tell you is I'm able to go back and forth with this bot right now because I am on the plus plan right now. You can't go back and forth if you are on the free plan. Granted, you could come back up to your prompt and edit it, and you could say, hey, make sure to include a worksheet for the design process. I could reprompt that and then regenerate. That is like a workaround from the free version. So let's look at the worksheet that it created for me. Okay, so now I have guidelines for the design process. So what problem are we going to solve with the device? 3 ideas, choosing my design. This is actually pretty good. Now they're going to sketch it, and then they're going to label it and so forth, reflect on the design, and then explain how it actually met. So I created the lesson and created a worksheet all in one little go here. So again, how do I get it out of here? I can copy and then just paste it into a doc, or because I'm on the plus, I can export straight to docs. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys about 5 minutes to go ahead and create a lesson, and then I'll have you guys come back and then we'll look at how to then create slides that go with that lesson. One thing I do want to do though is I want to go back to my output history of that Newton's third law. Oh, great. That suggestion worked. Awesome. And so what I actually want to do here is I actually want to take this lesson and I'm going to actually export this to Google Docs. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. First, I'm going to grab this worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. So I have that worksheet that I told you for the design process. And so I'm just going to rename this so that I can find it later. Worksheet. I have a typo there. Worksheet. Okay. And then I actually want the lesson itself too in a separate doc. So I'm going to go ahead and export that to Google Docs as well. So that way I have my lesson and my worksheet, because I'm going to use these later here in just a little bit actually to make my slides. So lesson on Newton's third law. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go back to the tools, and this time we're doing a presentation generator, because who loves making their own Google Slides? I sure did not. At least you're going to get a starting point. Have somebody else give you the starting point, and then you can elaborate it from there. That's a beautiful use of AI. So I'm going to go ahead in my presentation generator. So if you didn't find that, you can search for it, presentation generator in the tools. I'm going to do 6th grade. My number of slides, let's say I want to do 10, and I'm going to do the exact same example, because that's what we're doing today. I'm going to go ahead and do applying Newton's third law. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that standard in here. My mouse isn't working. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here. And I'm actually going to show you guys how to add a file now. I'm going to go ahead and add a file, and I have Google Drive connected. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab that lesson plan from earlier. And I'm going to actually go ahead and add that worksheet from earlier. So that way it's pulling that content into my slides, because I have my lesson plan in my worksheet, but what slides I'm going to go through with my students. So I'm going to add both of those, and it's going to incorporate the content from those within its response. Additional criteria on the slides. I also want some DOK questions and vocab. So let's go ahead and generate. So you can always add additional criteria. Now, what you're seeing here, you're probably thinking this isn't super useful. It's just bullet points. It's each slide, slide 7, and so forth. Like, I don't love this. So what you do is you do this export button. Okay, I could copy and paste that onto slides, but again, we don't have time for that as teachers. We're going to export, and even on the free version, you can export to Google Slides or to PowerPoint. Hopefully I'm still accurate in saying that, but as of last week, you were still able to do this on the free version. So what you're going to see here is it's taking this generation, and it is going to export this content into Google Slide format. And then all I have to do is maybe choose a template, add some graphics, clean it up. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be everything that I want, but at least it's a starting point. So here I can go ahead and open my slides. And now I have Newton's third law, collisions and understanding action and reaction. So I have terms to know, because remember I told it additional criteria that I wanted some vocab. So it's giving me some additional terms to know and some real world examples. And then I asked for DOK questions, and it actually gave those to me at the end as well. This is beautiful. This is exactly what I want. And I'm going to be using this later whenever I create my quiz. All right. So now you guys are going to go ahead and do the same. So go ahead and find the presentation generator. And I want you to do the same standard or topic. And if you really want to guide it, you can upload your lesson plan as a Drive file or even download it and then add that file from your computer to help guide the presentation generator on what it is that you're looking for. All right, so let's go ahead and now we need to assess. We need to create a multiple choice quiz. Again, this isn't going to be like our major unit test, but this is going to be something to just do a quick check for knowledge to make sure students understood what we were trying to explain. So we're going to use our same topic or standard. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my teacher tools and I'm going to look for the quiz. So the matching tools, multiple choice quiz and assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. So it's my 6th grade. It's 5 questions. Again, my standard. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in there again. And it actually says standards to align to. This is NGSS. And then I can add a file. I'm actually going to go ahead and add. Oops, I don't want to add from my computer. I'm going to add from Drive. I'm actually going to apply the slides because I know this is the content we went over with as a class. I'm actually not going to add my lesson plan in my worksheet, but I sure could if I wanted to. I'm just going to add the content from the slides because I want Magic School to use the slide content to help generate that quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and again, do 5 questions. Here's my standard, and it's going to reference the slides we already created. So I'm going to go to generate. And again, we're going to see that this is not maybe in the format that we currently want. Granted, we could copy paste if we wanted to. Now I have seen this where people don't like that it has CD. You can say rewrite so the answer keys more varied. I've seen that. Also, please check your answer keys. I've heard not just Magic School, but other AI tools, the answer keys are wrong. So you want to make sure you're checking that. In an ideal world, this looks beautiful. This is exactly what I want. And let's say I'm going to export and I get the option to export to Google Forms. I know I'm using lots of Google references. Most people are Google. I'm going to go ahead and click multiple choice, but I could do free response, but these are multiple choice. So I'm going to go ahead and export now to Google Forms. And even on the free version, you are able to export to Forms. So again, presentation generator and Forms are kind of those 2 tools that the whole point is that you're able to export to Forms or slides. So they allow you to be able to export. So now it's actually using Newton's third law in collision assessment. And so now it's actually going to mark the correct answer for me. Of course, I'm going to go through and check this and read through and make sure it is correct. But now I have my lesson plan. I have the worksheet the kids are using. I've got slides to go with all of this. And now I'm going to do my quick check for knowledge and I can publish this and push this out through Google Classroom or wherever. I could even do some more follow-up questions if I wanted to, but for this demo, we will not. So I want you guys to go ahead and take just 2 minutes now to go make a quiz based on your standard or your topic. And it will be even better if you upload those slides because now we're making sure that the kids are being assessed on what we covered in class. We made it up the big hill here. We're climbing. We created a lesson plan. We created a presentation to go with that lesson. And now we've created a quick check for assessment to make sure our students are understanding our particular standard or topic. So hopefully you guys found that useful and seen some of the things that you can create to just save you so much time. There's so many more tools in there. So please get in there whenever you have more time to explore, to favorite some of your other ones, create some collections and so forth. One thing I want to make sure I'm telling you about is Raina. That's one thing that's a little bit different. And so if I go back to Magic School, Raina is on the left-hand side. I told you earlier that she is Magic School's version of ChatGPT. So if you're looking at those tools, and you're like, this isn't quite what I'm looking for. I just need a brainstorming partner, somebody else to talk this through with because I'm a department of one. You can go to Raina and have some ways to work through some things. So when you're chatting with Raina, one thing I want you to keep in mind is that you need to be specific when you're crafting your prompt. This is what you're actually typing into the box to have a chat with Raina. And so I always tell people to use this basic framework, provide your role. So you're a 3rd grade teacher. What do you want her to do? Do you want her to just be a brainstorming partner or do you need bulletin board ideas? Give it an action, provide some context. So I want it to be over the month of October. And then I actually want it to be on digital citizenship, but also some Halloween tied in. And so I'm telling it that because that's what my expectations are. So it's really great to use Raina for when a tool isn't quite what you want it to be. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab this prompt right here to show you guys it in action. So you guys can see Raina demoed, and then when you're on your own, you can go see what she can do. So I'm in Raina right now. Again, there's no bulletin board idea tool in Magic School, but that's what I need. I got this bulletin board and I need some ideas because I'm just not really sure. So I provided my role. I'm a third grade teacher. My action, bulletin board ideas, context, it's October, and expectations, it's digital citizenship week. It actually really is Digital Citizenship Week, October 20th through the 24th. And so now I'm getting some ideas. I can do pumpkins of privacy with carved words or icons. Ooh, I like that. Beware of cyber monsters. So common online dangers like the phishing monster. Ooh, I love that. Autumn leaves, cyber leaves. Students can write examples of how they protect these rules at home on leaf cutouts. Spooktacular safety online. Each ghost or pumpkin has a digital safety trick. Our digital safety tip, like don't get tricked, be cyber smart, or harvest good habits online. Oh, that one's cute. Let's say I want to harvest good habits online because there's an interactive piece here. Have students add their own good habit leaf or pumpkin with the digital citizenship tip that they have learned. So you can do that. And she's also got some awesome questions down here to kind of help push your own thinking. Like, it's like, oh, I didn't even think about thinking about that. Raina can kind of help guide you. So she's a great brainstorming tool. So are there any digital tools recommended for creating these displays? Because I'm not sure what to use. I'm going to go ahead and click that question she had. Ooh, so I can use Canva. I can use Google Slides, maybe try Adobe Express, Padlet, Microsoft PowerPoint. And then maybe can you suggest engaging activities to accompany the bulletin board? And again, it's giving all of these different things that I can do, and I can keep going back and forth. Again, I really liked that good leaf habit, and I could say, I really like this one. I need more details. You can keep interacting back and forth. So again, Raina works excellent for trying to kind of fill in the blank when you're not sure if there's a tool in Magic School that exists to kind of help you with that. So that's Raina. I highly suggest you check her out, especially if you've been in ChatGPT. She's got that educator's unicorn hat on, so she's ready to help guide you on your adventures. So the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is certifications, PD, and resources. So you're like, okay, I just got a little bit. I'm ready to keep exploring with Magic School. They do have some resources that you guys can get on demand right now. And so if you go to your profile, your little face or icon is probably up here, and there's a little question mark. You can click that for helpful resources. There you're going to find just like some Twitter post or X post about teachers using Magic School, because we love to learn from other educators. They also have certification courses where you can kind of click and learn. And then there's PD resources and slides as well. So especially if you're in charge of letting other people know how to use it, there's some resources there. And then there's even AI literacy for students. And when you get in there, I especially like the certification courses. They have 4 different levels now for teachers. They even have levels for teaching you how to help students use it. And then they even have a student certification course. So when you get ready for that and you're ready to have students start to use AI in kind of a responsible, controlled environment, you can actually have them do the certification course as well. That'd be something kind of neat to share with your district that you've done. And so you can become a Magic School AI certified educator with those different resources. And so again, you just click your little question mark, you click PD resources, and now you've got a wealth of different things that you can do. There's webinars, there's literacy resources. I will show you this. The AI literacy resources also include like parent letters and things like that. So there's toolkits for school districts if maybe your district's not really sure how to navigate all of this. But then there's like prompting stuff, but there's also like a student contract, parent letters, the parent facing things so that you can kind of explain to them why you're using Magic School, what students are gaining from it. So there's a lot of like pre-made things so you don't have to recreate the wheel. So check out the different certifications, PD, and resources. So I hope you guys feel like you've accomplished something on our tech trek today, that you have gotten some steps in your brain journey here with Magic School. So you did it. Great job. Hopefully you got some stuff today.
Goodbye from the LTC and goodbye from Raina at Magic School as well, my little buddy here. And Emily, thanks again so much. Thanks, Emily. We'll see you on the next hike.